Good morning, everybody. I'm Greg Stock. I'm the CEO of Thibodaux Regional Health System. It's a pleasure today to introduce somebody that you most likely already know, Sheriff Craig Webre.
Greg, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Good to see you.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, he was a patient here recently with a serious heart condition. You were raised in this area, right?
From Kramer, Louisiana, or what people affectionately call Bayou Buff, and educated at Bayou Buff Elementary School.
Oh, great.
Which I'm hoping will get restored after the hurricane, so more kids from that community will have that school. It's a treasure to our parish.
It's an old school.
It has
a few times
a one-room school building that I think in 1903 they dated it back to. It's on the National Register of Historic Buildings, and it was still in use.
That's neat stuff. You know, you're a sheriff, but basically you have a law degree, right?
You are correct. I started my career in law enforcement at the age of 18, working for the Thibodaux Police Department, and I decided to pursue a law degree. And I went to Loyola at night because I could go part-time and continue my full-time work. And in my senior year of law school, my passion has always been justice and law enforcement. And I was trying to figure out what could I do, what would be a job that I could combine my passion for justice, my love for law enforcement and people, and my legal training as an attorney. And it just so happened the sheriff's election rolled around. And I said, that's the perfect job. So I offered myself as a candidate, and I was fortunate enough in 1991 to get elected. I got sworn in 1992, and it's been an honor and a privilege to serve since that time.
Yeah, you've done a lot of great things. Just for a moment or two, maybe you could share a couple of thoughts of how the ante has been upped since you started in 1991.
Well, if you think of the difference between governmental functions and responsibilities versus private sector, certainly in the private sector, what you do in the medical community is critically important to the safety and health of the people that live in Lafourche Parish. But the most basic foundation, the most simplest thing that government needs to do for its people, for its society, is safety and security. Everything else is pretty much secondary. If you have to fend for yourself, if you go back to days of vigilantism and every person has to protect their own people and their own property, you'll have chaos and you won't have a community, you won't have a civilization or democracy. So law enforcement has evolved over time. In the 30 years as sheriff and the 40 years of my career in law enforcement, I've seen attitudes change about things like domestic violence. Way back 40 years ago, it was not something that the criminal justice system took very seriously. And many, many people were victimized and killed. Yeah. And there was never any accountability for that. We then evolved into something like DNA, which changed the game in terms of making sure that people...
The science changed.
Yes, the science of DNA has been a game changer in the field of law enforcement. And on the flip side, there are people who are wrongfully convicted that science is now exonerating and trying to pay back to those people what was unfairly and unfortunately taken away from them.
That's great progress.
Now what we're facing, of course, are the effects of addiction with opioid and the opioid crisis. And I think with the pandemic and the hurricane, it's probably been exaggerated a little bit more than normal. And really, the challenge today is digital evidence. You know, it used to be you had to be in the proximity of your victim to commit a crime. If I wanted your money, I had to go hit you over the head and take your wallet.
Right.
Now I can be in a foreign country on a computer and I can wipe you clean by taking money out your account. So the whole complexity of digital evidence and where we are as a society has changed. And through accreditation and striving for excellence and staying on the cutting edge, we're trying to keep up with that, just as you are in your field.
Evolve with what's going on in society is a challenge for everybody. It's a lot of unpredictable things, a lot of feelings flying in each direction, but we commend you for the work that you do, and it's a very important work, and we appreciate it here at Thibodaux Regional.
Well, y'all have been a great partner throughout the years, and that will only grow and continue into the future.
It will. Thank you.